Your brain is being hijacked by an ancient primal fear, forcing you to spend money you never intended to. You are about to understand a psychological mechanism so pervasive, so deeply embedded in our daily lives, that it costs you countless dollars without you ever truly realizing why. This isn't just about consumer habits, it's about the scarcity principle, a fundamental manipulation technique designed to bypass your rational thought and trigger an involuntary spending response. By the end of this, you will see how retailers, advertisers, and even individuals weaponize your intrinsic fear of loss, turning it into their gain. Consider this. You walk into a store or browse online, completely indifferent to a particular item. Then, a small, innocent-looking phrase catches your eye. Only 3 left in stock. Or perhaps limited time offer ends in 24 hours. Suddenly, that previously uninteresting object transforms. It feels more desirable, more urgent, even essential. This isn't magic. It is the deliberate exploitation of one of humanity's deepest-seated psychological vulnerabilities. The scarcity principle doesn't just suggest value, it actively manufactures urgency, triggering a profound, almost primitive drive within you. It activates your survival brain, convincing you that if you do not act immediately, you will lose an opportunity that might never return. Dr. Robert Cialdini, in his seminal work Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion, identified scarcity as one of his 6 key principles of influence. He wasn't describing a mere marketing trick, he was unveiling a core aspect of human psychology. Cialdini highlighted how items that are rare or perceived as becoming rare are valued more highly. This isn't just a subjective preference, it's a hardwired response. Think about a famous study conducted back in the 1970s, often cited by Cialdini, where participants were asked to rate the value of cookies. In one scenario, a jar contained 10 cookies. In another identical jar, there were only 2. The cookies from the jar with 2 were consistently rated as more desirable, even though they were objectively the same cookies. The mere perception of limited availability amplified their perceived worth. This phenomenon is rooted in our evolutionary past. Resources were historically scarce: food, shelter, safety. Those who hesitated, those who didn't act quickly to secure diminishing resources, often lost out. This ancient mechanism, designed to ensure survival, is now being meticulously weaponized against your wallet and your autonomy. It taps into the fear of missing out, or FOMO, turning it into a powerful, almost irresistible compulsion. What's truly unsettling is that this manipulation often occurs so subtly, so seamlessly, that your rational mind is bypassed entirely, leaving you with an impulse you can't quite explain. You think you're making a choice, but in reality, you're reacting to a carefully orchestrated psychological trigger. This manipulation mechanism isn't confined to a dusty academic paper. It is operating on you every single day, in every corner of your life. Have you ever found yourself in the grocery aisle, eyeing a product you never considered, only to grab it because a bright orange sticker screams "last chance" or "limited edition"? That's it. Or perhaps you're scrolling through social media and an ad pops up for an online course declaring enrollment closes tonight, only a few spots left. Suddenly, the thought of personal development transforms into a desperate sprint against a ticking clock. Think about the housing market. A real estate agent tells you there are multiple offers expected by the end of the day. Before you heard that, you might have leisurely considered the property's pros and cons. Afterward, you're envisioning someone else living in your potential home, feeling the acute pang of loss before you've even owned it. You are pressured into making an offer, perhaps overbidding, all because the illusion of scarcity was so expertly deployed. This isn't just about tangible items, it seeps into our social interactions too. Consider the manipulator in a relationship who occasionally withdraws affection or makes themselves emotionally unavailable, only to return with a burst of attention. That intermittent reinforcement, creating a scarcity of connection, makes the moments of attention feel incredibly precious, almost addictive. The victim in this scenario becomes conditioned to crave and chase those rare moments, fearing their complete withdrawal. This is the dark side of perceived scarcity. It can make you desperately pursue something that, if abundant, you might not even value. Psychologists refer to this as loss aversion, the human tendency to prefer avoiding losses over acquiring equivalent gains. Losing something, or even the possibility of losing it, feels twice as painful as gaining something equivalent feels good. Retailers leverage this by framing their offers not as a chance to gain, but as a danger of losing. Losing a deal, losing an opportunity, losing a status symbol. They don't want you to think about what you're buying. They want you to think about what you're losing if you don't buy right now. It's a relentless, invisible pressure. This constant threat of deprivation forces premature decisions, bypassing your judgment and pushing you into regretful actions. So, how do you reclaim your autonomy against such a deeply ingrained psychological tactic? It begins with awareness, then moves to specific, actionable defenses. First, recognize the scarcity trigger words. These are the red flags fluttering across your conscious and subconscious mind. Listen for phrases like limited stock, only X remaining, flash sale, last chance, exclusive offer, don't miss out, expires soon. These aren't just descriptive labels. They are carefully chosen linguistic weapons designed to ignite your fear of loss. When you encounter them, immediately pause. Do not let the urgency dictate your next move. Acknowledge the trigger, but refuse to be controlled by it. This mental labeling of the manipulation tactic is your first line of defense. It shifts you from being a passive recipient of influence to an active observer of it. Second, implement a mandatory 24-hour rule for any non-essential purchase or decision driven by scarcity. The moment you feel that surge of urgency, that desperate need to act now because something might disappear, force yourself to wait. For 24 full hours, remove the item from your cart, close the tab, walk away from the display. This seemingly simple act is profoundly powerful because it starves the urgency. The psychological pressure relies on immediate action. By delaying, you create space for your rational mind to re-engage. You'll often find that after a day, the desire has vanished, or the item no longer seems as crucial as it did under the artificial pressure of scarcity. This pause allows you to evaluate actual need versus manufactured desire. And third, shift your mindset from fear of loss to assessment of actual value. Instead of asking, "What will I lose if I don't get this?" ask yourself, "What is the inherent value of this item to me, independent of its perceived scarcity? Would I still want this if there were 1,000,000 of them available, with no time limit? Would I pay full price for this if it wasn't a limited time offer?" This mental reframe strips away the manipulative layer and forces you to confront the true utility and desirability of the item. It's about evaluating the object on its own merits, not on the artificial panic surrounding its availability. This takes practice, but it fundamentally alters your relationship with consumerism. You now possess a lens through which to view the world that most people never acquire. Social interactions, marketing campaigns, even political rhetoric will no longer appear as random events or simple offers. Instead, you'll discern the subtle, insidious currents of psychological manipulation at play. You will see the carefully constructed scarcity, the manufactured urgency, the deliberate activation of the fear of missing out. This isn't just about saving money, it's about reclaiming your mental sovereignty. It's about understanding that many of your emotional impulses are not truly yours, but echoes of ancient survival instincts twisted by modern manipulators. You are no longer merely a consumer, you are a conscious actor, capable of recognizing the strings being pulled and choosing not to dance. This awareness doesn't just protect you, it empowers you to navigate a world increasingly designed to exploit your psychological blind spots. Never again will a limited time offer hold the same power over you. You have seen behind the curtain, understood the mechanism, and learned the defenses. Use this knowledge to fortify your mind and your decisions. Continue to peel back the layers of societal influence. There are many more hidden triggers, many more unseen forces shaping your reality, and understanding them is your only true defense.